grounding is our how-to as for the universal child that is newly awakened or has been on the path for a while. Grounding, and if you don't take anything away from any other show we have ever done, this is the one to listen to, and this is the one to make notes on. Grounding, grounding, grounding. As we accelerate in these heightened frequencies, and I've said it a million times and we'll say it again, grounding is so very key for not only the physical health and harmony and peace and balance, but it is also for your etheric and your energetic health. As we get moving in heightened frequencies, as we're in the midst of right now, this is why we see everything unfold the way it is, because those that aren't prepared and are not grounding, those that are feeling frenzied or anxiety or as if they're being bounced around in a million different topics, this is the way that heightened frequencies can feel in the blanket. And there's energy waves rippling in motion, if you will. And if one is not in a balanced, grounded state, one will feel as if they're knocked about these different frequency patterns, these frequency threads. And this is why those that aren't prepared and those that haven't chosen the path of a grounding, aligned state with energy and with their higher self and with self-love and all the things we've been talking about, then they will feel as if they're kind of being bounced around and, a million things are going on in their head at once and they're not sure how to kind of focus on that one central topic or whatever it might be. But that's how these heightened frequencies can allow things to be pulled to a certain point where there's a reaction involved and there's a catalytic kind of engagement about the differing frequencies. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. And we have been seeing for quite some time. But in these alignments and in these offerings, they get heightened and they get amped, if you will. Grounding is the how-to to create center and balance and harmony. It's our balancing mechanism. To ground is very, very easy. It's not as complicated as some might think. It's very simple. It's very easy, but it is the physical vessel's way. It is the energetic body, the multidimensional experience way to create balance and harmony and centeredness. And it just is. We live upon a planet who's going through a planetary ascension, a planetary evolution, and we cannot think, or we cannot assume any longer, that we are separate from what she is moving through. We just aren't, and we never have been. So allow ourselves to create that communion and relationship and merging and union with that concept, because so too are we. We are a mirror of her. She is a mirror of us. We are one and the same. We are entangled in this way. That was the contract that each and every one of us brought forward as we incarnated onto this planet and any other planet that we're simultaneously created upon. In the higher states of awareness, in the awakened state of awareness, in the expanded state of awareness, we understand that as a multidimensional conscious being, I am entangled and married with the planet that I exist upon. I just am. And so is every other life aspect. Therefore, when a planetary is moving through an adjustment, a shift, a frequency catapult, if you will, then so too will I. And it requires grounding so that we move together, so that we move in unison, so that we move in synchronicity and symbiotic motion. The grounding aspect is our mechanism to stay balanced, to stay whole, to stay unionized, to stay in a unificated state as we move through these heightened frequencies. So it's very, very important, and I say it as often as I can, that grounding will allow us not only a homeostasis within the physical body, and why most illnesses are created and manifested in these heightened frequencies is because it's showing that flux of difference frequency all at once. So if there's something that's out of alignment within the physical vessel, you'll feel it, just like we do with full moons. We've always felt these, and the full moon alignments have always been noted in our most ancient cultures, and that's why they've created most of their rituals and ceremonies around full moons or new moons. So these aren't new stirrings. These are ancient esoteric teachings that go back generations and generations and cultures to cultures. It's nothing new. However, the ascending human, the awakened human, is now understanding that, wow, we're getting additional energetic offerings for humanity to awaken and open up even more at a grander and faster pace. And so how do I move about my new frequencies, my new reality? How am I shifting and recycling all of these new thoughts and paradigms that are now coming at you at, a pulsar-like speed? So grounding will allow you to gain greater enhancement in your own balance, in your own unique homeostasis. Because your homeostasis changes every time you take on a new concept. You're integrating new understandings. You're integrating new light. You're allowing a grander aspect of who you are to open up into the new offerings that Gaia is now opening up to. And this is why we like to think of the blanket and the weave. You are a thread within the weave, within the blanket of Gaia. And so as the weaves and the threads are out of sync with that grander blanket threading, that's when we see the hiccups in the blanket start to fall apart. And that's why the call to creation has been heard many years ago to kind of step in and assist humanity, because there was too many threads coming apart. So to allow your grounding and your weave to stay within sync of the blanket of all that Gaia is, moving in her greater galactic blanket, her threading, the galactic threading, in with the universal threading blanket, we're all being threaded in a myriad of ways. And when we get these energetic offerings, when we get these energetic inspirations of the Lion's Gate portal, if you will, the galactic portal, we're being sown new threads of galactic frequencies and encodings that can allow us to then maximize or enhance or spread our own thread out into a greater cosmic blanket. So we sense more, we hear more, we see more, we know more, we're understanding more. And this huge, beautiful melting pot of experience comes to our attention because we're now galactic, illuminated human beings. We're no longer the human being walking around separate from our planet, separate from one another, separate from source and creation. We are sensing in every way that we are one. We might not understand it fully. We might not understand the sounds and the symbols that we hear or that we're getting or that we're sensing or coming to the attention of. But we're seeing synchronicities unfold at profound frequencies over and over and over and over and over to catch your attention. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Do you hear our call? Do you hear our call? Are you getting it? Wake up. And so these things are allowing us the attunement to the frequencies so that we can rise above limitation, rise above fear, rise above all of these aspects of limitation that we've allowed ourselves to believe in this illusory game, and step up into liberation and freedom in every way. Grounding is simple, it's easy, and every human being that has come to this planet has the ability to ground. Everyone. God is not superfluous. We wouldn't be placed upon a planet that we were unable to ground and match with. As any planet goes through an ascension process, which is very unique, this is why these times of awakening and these times of evolution are so profound for humanity. For we are the teachers for the rest of creation on what occurs when a planet moves through an ascension, all at once. So these are really, truly profound, and we've been saying it over and over and over, why we get so excited and passionate about all that comes forward. Because there are so many aspects of the threads within the universal blanket that are being altered and shifted and sewn anew, created anew. New textures and new weavings, new colors and hues. For we are creating the ability to synchronize our thread with the thread of Gaia, with the blanket weave of Gaia, as she is being offered new galactic threads, new encodings within the atmosphere, within the consciousness collective. This beautiful weaving of our consciousness is a collective family. We have our own collective blanket. How the collective feels is felt by those that are visionaries like myself. If there's chaos moving about our planet in any one certain area, we can feel it and sense it. It's the weaving that we've been sown with by contract on our blueprint, so that we can be of help and assistance, that when we come forward with the word of source and God and creation, that we may say one or two things, strike a chord in one or two ways, and reach out to the masses as best we can in all that we have to share with, and allow the hearts of all to be touched by source in a way that can bring heightened awareness and expansion, so that we just stop and breathe and be still in the elegance that's truly moving our hearts to open up to love in a new way. For all unfoldings are purposeful. They allow us to see the grander version of all that we are. To visualize, which we talked about last week, to visualize yourself as a beautiful multidimensional being of light, threaded with beautiful weaves of every tone and hue you can think of, with every vibratory sound you can think of, a spherical ball of light that's threaded within this blanket. And allow that pillar of light to breathe in the loving nourishment and the loving energy frequency and the symbiotic elegance of Gaia's frequency, her core frequency. And whether you visualize the sand and the grass moving through your physical vessel, whether you visualize the aspects of her breath being brought up through the feet and brought up through the pillar of light of all that you are, and working its way through your chakras and all the way up to the crown, to the pineal, and all the way through to the other chakras of the heightened universal mind. However you want to visualize your entanglement with Gaia in a two-way circuitry, meaning that the essence of Gaia is being pulled from her core through the vessel of all that you are, cycling around to the gateway of the higher self, which is the entry point, the entrance point of the universal mind above the crown chakra, and having it then thread back down through the crown chakra, through all of your chakra bodies and your energy systems and your energy fields, then down through the feet, then back through the sands and soils of Gaia to the very core of Gaia. That's the completion of one cycle. This visualization process can allow you very momentarily, it only takes moments a day, and if you do it 10 times a day, even better. As often as one can, visualize this complete cycle of energy, this cycle of symbiotic energy that's done at the energetic level. You're just feeling as if you're using your visual eyes to visualize it, but it's all energetic level. You see this energetic thread from the core of Gaia, the heart of Gaia, being thread through every layer that she is, through the vessel of who you are, and like an infinity cycle moving through you, through the chakras, through the higher self, and then from the universal mind, and then back down again as you yourself, as this heightened being, then grounds yourself back into the sands and soils of Gaia, right to the core. So it's a cycle of completion. This allows you to remain threaded, just as the needle and the thread moves its way through the blanket of her greater weaving, of her greater expansiveness. She is being expanded in such a way that new encodings are gifted to her in this energetic offering. And if we are not grounding ourselves, then we can feel as if we're being flopped around, or anxiety sets in, or worry, or chaos. And so anything that you can do to ground, whether that's sitting on the grass at your lunch hour on your break, and just visualize and create sensation and union and marriage and a relationship with Gaia. And how does the grass feel, and how does the soil feel? And just take your shoes off and walk on her surface. Because the body is energetically acclimatized to her frequency. Gaia has a speed, she has a tone, she has a frequency, she has a sound. Your body is automatically in tune with her if you bring your focus and your intent to that. That's all it is. It's just intent. To allow your visualization and your energy to create focused intent to be one with her. That aligns the synergy of your body, the inner workings of the cells within your structure, in alignment with her. Because when we're out of alignment with Gaia, when we have technology turned on all day and we're not letting ourselves be with Gaia, the cells and the molecular structure of our body are out of sync with her rhythm, her pulse, her heartbeat. And we feel it, we sense it, we might feel ill, we might feel at ease or diseased, because we're not working within the natural elements of all that she offers, of all that she is. And it requires a visual intent, it requires an energetic intent to be one with her, to ground, to balance, to be harmonious with her. And regardless of what the planetary offerings will be, you will always be at a centered state. Because you're intending it, you're imbuing it, you're breathing her in. You're allowing all that you are to be one with her, to be sewn with her, to be threaded with her. And this will allow for you to expand out into what we will then move up into, which was the cosmic blanket, the cosmic weaving. As we position ourselves in a new cosmic bedding, because remember, we're not just one particle, we're the all. It's not just happening to any one individual, it's happening to the all. It's not just happening to one planet, it's happening to the all. And so we thread ourselves out to the galactic blanket as you allow yourself to be grounded within this physical planetary blanket, this human collective blanket, it then ripples out to the galactic and then to the universal. This is how you become a symbiotic movement with the energies of what we're being offered by creation and God. You begin to sense what we're being offered. You might even sense it before we're even offered it, because you're so in tune. You're in alignment. You're entangled. You're engaged. You are threaded in a relationship that never ends. It never ceases. It's always alive. It's always pulsing new information, new light, new encodings, new birthings, new textures, new hues, new stories. And so people often say, well, how do I ground? How is it? It's just visual intent. It's your energetic intent to be still with Gaia. If you can do your visualizations of that cycle we just talked about, and you can do it in the presence of her, by either in the woods or the forest or on the beach, however you choose to ground yourself. You know, when I was working in an office or in a building, I could ground as I went for my coffee break or my bathroom break or whatever it was, because it just takes a few moments of being still in that conscious thought of heart-centered openness to be the intent of grounding and marrying with her frequency, marrying with the light she offers, marrying with the energy she offers and the soothing love that she offers. Because she is the balancing mechanism for all of humanity, and humanity has been fairly asleep to it. We're now relearning and remembering the teachings that we've learned in all the temples about how very crucial and important it is for our health, our physical health, our well-being, to be balanced and centered within her, as she is within every one of us.